Pentagon turmoil deepens. Top Hegseth aide leaves post. Yeah, there have been a bunch of departures. A bunch of departures out of the Pentagon over the past few days. Pete Hegseth's chief of staff will leave his role in the coming days. Can we get some interviews from these motherfuckers? I know you all have to... I know you're all, like, sworn to secrecy, but come on. Is it because he's an alcoholic? Did he touch your privates? What happened? I want to know. Senior advisor Dan Caldwell, Deputy Chief of Staff Darren Silnick, and Colin Carroll, the Chief of Staff to Deputy Defense Secretary Stephen Feinberg, were placed on leave this week in an ongoing leak probe. All three were terminated on Friday. Jesus. Wonder what the leak probe was for. Two of the people said Carroll and Selnick plan to sue for wrongful termination. There's going to be no one left in government by 2026. Yeah, no kidding, man. Jesus Christ. They're burning through them so quickly. I know that Trump doesn't want to fire people out of the cabinet because he doesn't want a repeat of his first administration. But in this case, like it seems like that Pete Hegseth hasn't gotten the memo, or maybe he wants his opportunity. You know, he wants a chance to go through everyone as quickly as possible. Entire Pentagon defense tech unit to leave the Pentagon by May.
News, an entire unit of the Pentagon is leaving by the start of May. The Hill reports all 14 staff members working in the Defense Digital Service are resigning. Most are taking the Trump administration's deferred resignation offer. The Technology Development Office was created in 2015 to help.
Can't really blame them. Probably most of their job was dealing with Russian cyber attacks, but now we're no longer allowed to look for those. So, like, what's their job going to be anyway? Is it just me, or is it kind of insane how the dismantling of the Pentagon has happened in the stupidest way? Well, my curiosity is how much damage has to be done to the Pentagon staff before the logistics start to break down. Because running the military is really expensive, difficult, time-consuming, mentally intensive. Even if you're not conducting a war, even if you're not doing anything, you have to get so much to so many places. I'm just curious, like, how much top, because, like, obviously those logistical concerns are not managed by people at the very top. They're managed by people below. But a lot of the people below have probably left. And if they get replaced by loyalists, or not replaced at all, I mean, eventually I don't know. We're turning into Russia, man. We're turning into Russia. In 2 years, you're going to be able to get drunk for cheap by going to a U.S. airbase and paying an MP $5 to let you siphon a cup of tank fuel off into a cup, get you flatlined in one sip. Wasn't this already this way in parts of the U.S.? Now, my understanding is that actually, for the most part, the military has been pretty good at preventing corruption. I know that sounds kind of silly in today's day and age, but, like, by the standards of militaries, the U.S. military is actually pretty spick and span. Like, basically what I'm saying is if you try to do that, you would probably get your ass in a lot of trouble. Exactly. The corruption in the military is in contract assignment. It's in private-public partnerships, right? But that comes from the top. On the ground level, day to day, like and lots of sexual assault. Sorry, should clarify that. But when it comes to, like, logistics, the U.S. military has been pretty excellent by the standards of a military. Up until now, maybe. I'm not sure. They're getting better on hazing too, right? My understanding is that there's been a crackdown on hazing culture over the past few decades, but I have no idea how much progress that's had or what. I think hazing was at its worst back in, like, the 60s and 70s because it was a way for, you know, COs or whatever to punish conscripts. Like, the idea was if you got conscripted, that you were too much of a pussy to enlist like a good U.S. civilian. So they would try to, like, bully you for it. Chat doesn't know what hazing is. Wow. I guess we need to bring it back. These, you know, you've all gotten soft. The fuck is hazing? Come on, guys. It's bullying. Like at frats. Like, oh, here's the new guy. Let's all, like, put stuff up his butt. Let's all suck his dick. Bro, let's all suck his dick like it's a prank. It'll make him gay. Like that. Or, like, beat you to death with rocks. I don't know. People are gay as hell. Younger demographic doesn't know what hazing is. I guess that's maybe good, right? I don't know. Probably a good thing. For now, the Pentagon and DHS won't recommend that Trump invoke the Insurrection Act. Wow. Look at that, guys. Is this leaked information? Has the memo been released? In a memo, the Pentagon and Department of Homeland Security are preparing to send to Trump about conditions at the southern border. Okay, so this is a leak. Another leak! Yay! Yippee! Looks like we get to avoid it for now. The deadline for Hegseth and Noem's recommendation is Sunday, but the Pentagon and DHS are expected to send a memo with their findings to the White House next week, officials said. Late. Hegseth and Noem are expected to tell Trump that border crossings are currently low and they don't need additional authorities at this point to help control the flow of migrants, officials said. Migrant crossings at the southern border have been under 300 a day, according to a Homeland Security official, a dramatic drop from recent years when unlawful crossings were well over 1,000 or more a day. Huh. Somebody definitely realized how bad it would look if they said yes. Well, obviously, no conditions down at the southern border would have justified the Insurrection Act. This was a pretext, an opportunity to invoke it with an excuse, with a narrative. It seems like they're not going to go for it. The reasons why they're not going for it, there could be any number, right? Not politically advantageous. They don't think they'd be able to take advantage of it. Maybe they'll flip-flop. Yeah, that's true. Who can say? Total speculation. But they set themselves up for an excuse. It seems like they're not using it, which is cool. The U.S. military has deployed thousands of additional troops, including active duty forces, to the southern border in recent months, but they have been doing patrols, building barricades, and providing logistical support to DHS, not conducting arrests. Fantastic use of our tax dollars, folks. Jesus. The military is not legally allowed to do arrests. I can't wait to pay taxes. Brainstorm pictures. It's April 19th. Those guys are bored as by the way. I know a couple lads that got sent down there and they're literally just sitting in the desert doing nothing. Yeah, there's nothing to do. Soldiers can't conduct arrests. They're not allowed to. So they're literally just jerking off down there. And I owed exactly $1 on my return this year. It was great. You know what's fucked up? Since I don't have a W-2, because I get my payments out from Google via 1099, I just have to have the money sit in my bank account. Like, if I estimate I'm going to have to pay such and such taxes at the end of the year, I just have to sit it in my bank account. I don't get any tax returns. It just sits there. And I'm like, oh man, I have money. And then I pay taxes and I'm like, oh fuck, I don't. I have like way less money. Aren't you supposed to pay quarterly? Yeah, I'd love to pay quarterly. I'd love to do 4 times the paperwork for literally no reason. Like a nerd. You realize having the money sit there is better than getting a return. You're collecting interest on the money and we aren't. Yeah. Wow. 2% on a, yeah. Okay. You can't even do anything fun with it. Can you imagine if I put my money in the market while waiting for tax day? If I put my money in the market, right, before Trump's inauguration? Because I'm like, yeah, he's going to crash the economy, but it's going to take a bit. And for a while, Wall Street's going to go haywire, all right? Kaplunk. Can't make taxes this year. Sorry, I'm out there in the streets sucking dick for money. I'd do it for free, but I've got bills to pay. 2% is less than inflation, which means you're losing money. Yeah. Hey, listen, you go down to the Fed, you tell fucking Jerome Powell, all right, to raise the interest rates, bring it up to 5.75%. So a high yield savings account is like 9% or something. All right, you tell him, okay? I don't make the rules. I don't give a shit. I'm not refinancing a mortgage anytime soon. I don't care.